Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us wherever you may be. Hopefully you are safe, warm, and dry. Today's topic is what's new in Tokyo, the Q4 store release, and the Utah family release. And more specifically, we will be focusing on customer service management and order management. My name is Andre Ramsarran. I'm an outbound product manager in the CSM group, and I am joined by my esteemed colleagues, Harriet and Krupa. Next slide, please. And what would be a good PM presentation without a safe harbor statement? This is a reminder that while this presentation may contain forward-looking statements, your purchasing decision should be based on existing product functionality in our most recent Utah release. Next slide, please. You can also join us for future webinars and meetups. We'll share the links in today's chat with you, and we would be happy to see you in future sessions. Next slide, please. Before we get rolling, just a few housekeeping items. There will be time for Q&A at the end of the presentation, so please queue up your questions using the Q&A feature, and we'll be happy to address those. We will share this session also on the ServiceNow community, and after the session ends, please provide your feedback via a brief survey that we will send your way. Next slide, please. So let's get started with what's specifically in the Q4 22 and Utah release. Next slide. In the Q4 22 release, there's one feature related to customer operations, namely new record templates. There are 3 features related to order management, recurring pricing model method, add-on charges and fees, and the configurable product with components. With regards to the Utah family release, there are 2 pillar areas. In customer engagement, we have 6 features that we're going to talk about, and in customer operations, we have 2. So as you can see, we have a lot of material to cover, and let's get rolling with the next slide. Customer engagement for the Q4 store release. So this is Q4 2022. There is my mugshot, and we will roll right into our first feature. Next slide, please. What we call new record templates. Now, when we think about new record templates, it is related to the functionality that we deliver in workspaces, and specifically the CSM configurable workspace. And there are 2 experiences that you should think about when you're thinking about the CSM configurable workspace. The first experience is what we refer to as the runtime experience. So that is the experience of agents actually performing the data entry within the workspace. And there's the second experience, which is that of the developer for folks that are actually building and customizing workspaces. So this feature called new record templates has to do with more the developer experience. And specifically, when developers go into UIB, that is a UI builder, and they develop and create what we call a page variant, they can elect to spin up a page variant off of what's called a new record template. And when they do so, we've introduced 2 new features or artifacts of such pages. The first one is called presets, and the second one is called controllers. And in the demo video, you'll get a better understanding of what presets and controllers are, but essentially what they help you do is they help streamline your development process. So it will lead to more rapid configuration of workspace experiences, and it will also help lower the dev cost of and ownership of those pages as you move through upgrades. So they essentially make your pages more upgrade friendly. So let's hop over to the next slide and roll the video.
To extend CSM configurable workspace in 2 ways. First, we've introduced the construct of controllers and presets. Now, when certain components are added to a page, the configuration will automatically get set. Second, we have taken the monolithic layout of a detailed page and broken it into smaller sections. This means that components such as forms, compose, and the activity stream can be added, removed, and moved at will. These changes will make the lives of admins and developers easier. Let's take a look. In this first demo, we'll start from a blank page, drop a form component on the page, and then we'll use the presets to configure the form. You'll get a sense of what configuring a page is like with and without presets. You'll see how controllers are used to set component properties, set up events, and bind data resources. So let's go ahead and hit create, and we're going to go ahead and create a blank page. We're going to go ahead and give the page a name. And we're going to add a component to the page. In this example, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a form component to our page. And we're going to go ahead and save early, saved often in UIB. And you'll notice that we have a very basic page. You'll also notice that none of the configurations have been set over here. And if we click on events, no events have been associated with the page and the component. And for the data sources, it has not been associated with any table or API. You'll also notice that there are no state parameters or there are no scripts as well. So things are looking a little bleak for our page, but what we're going to do now is we're going to apply presets. So I'm going to click on this drop down and I'm going to say that we want to apply the record form preset. And we're going to go ahead and give it a table. In this case, we're going to base it on the case table. And we're going to go ahead and paste in a sysid. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the preset. And it's warning us that if you have set anything up manually previously, that it will be clobbered or erased. So we're going to apply that. And we're going to go ahead and save early, saved often. And now what we want to do is go ahead and associate this with a specific table. Let's go ahead and choose that table. And once again, we will associate it with a specific record ID. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. And now what you'll notice is that the form has been fully configured. And under configuration settings here, you can see that all the properties have been set. More importantly, you'll notice that a whole bunch of events have been automatically created. So these are events for selected notification actions and things of that nature. Over here under data sources, we have associated it with a specific table. And of course, if there were client state or scripts, those would also get bound in as well. The other thing that we want to do here is we want to now go and add another component to our form. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add. And you'll notice that when we go to add components, that there's certain components that are highlighted in this green kind of background. And what UIB is telling us is it's saying, hey, these are components that if you add them to the form, presets will automatically apply. So in our situation, what we're going to do is we're going to go and add the ribbon to the form and the presets will automatically apply. I simply double click on it and you'll notice that the ribbon has now been instantiated on the form and all of the properties of the ribbons have been set, the events have been set, as well as the record. So there you have it, a bit under the hood, how we make it easy for admins and developers to leverage existing components with presets. And we really flatten the learning curve for them because now they can just leverage these components without having to know the inner workings of each of those respective components.
All right.
Let's have a look at you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that was the first video. There's a second part of that video that we won't show now, but it talks about how we have made the case page a little bit more flexible in terms of how you can move components around the page at will. So if you want the activity stream to be in a different section or you want case detail to show up on the side panel, we have kind of broken up the monolithic layout of that page. So there's been two significant developments for with new record templates in the Tokyo's Q4 store release. So with that said, and in the interest of time, we will pass it on to my glorious colleague, Krupa. It will cover order engagement.
Thank you, Andre.
Order
Thank
management.
everyone.
Sorry.
You do need to engage to get the orders. All right, I'm going to talk about order management here, the Q4 22 store release. Now, order management is an add-on to CSM that was released in 2022, and we've continued to add additional capabilities to this product that lets you capture, track, and fulfill your customer orders, providing end-to-end visibility into your order process. If we go to the next one, Skip, please. The first capability I'm going to talk about is in the pricing part of the order management, which is a recurring pricing method. Again, this is not a surprise to anyone. We are used to subscription pricing where we pay on a regular frequency, monthly, annual, quarterly, whichever. And with all the service models like software as a service or any kind of a subscription as a service model, this is a key functionality that our customers use to drive their products and their growth and their revenue. Now, what we introduced through this is admins can set up for any product offering they have in their product catalog. They can define a recurring price amount and whether a frequency of that recurrence. And they can actually create multiple price lists with these recurring prices and frequencies. And product admins, they can choose to associate any of these price lists for their given product. Now, these price lists can be scheduled ahead of time to go live, so you can plan your pricing for the whole year if you like, and then set them up. Now, when an agent is placing the order on behalf of the customer, the price list is picked up, and then a customer can choose what frequency they want for this pricing and how much the amount is going to be. And when the agent places the order, customer is able to verify the frequency and the pricing amounts in the customer portal when they look at their particular order. Now, keep in mind, we are not actually handling the billing of it. What we're doing is we're capturing all this information and we're making this available to all the downstream systems like ERPs and billing systems. So we go to the next one. The other component on pricing is add-on fees and charges. Again, when you think about a product that you purchase, right? So oftentimes there are some beyond the price you pay for the product, there are some fees and charges like that. It could be a service fee or freight shipping fee, something like that, or it could be something like a government collected regulatory fee, and they could be one time or they could be recurring. So what we have supported here is the ability on top of pricing to support add-on charges and fees and break them out in the order summary so that when a customer is placing the order, they understand what is it that they're paying for the product and what are the fees and charges and what's due now and what's due on a regular recurring basis. So let's quickly take a look at the demo on how this works.
Let's watch a demonstration of the new pricing capabilities in the Q4 Tokyo Order Management Store release, which includes support for recurring pricing methods and one-time or recurring add-on charges. James Davies, a Solana order agent, is helping Alex Starr, employee of StarTech Services, purchase 10 subscriptions for the Solana movie streaming service. James creates a new order and adds a new order line item, the Solana movie streaming subscription. James updates the order quantity as 10 and navigates to the pricing section. He confirms the pricing method as recurring and selects the desired commitment term, in this case, monthly. The total is updated to reflect the unit price of $50 and the total order price of $500. James saves the order and navigates to the pricing adjustments section. He confirms the one-time add-on charges of $20 for setup and $10 for activation per each subscription, a total of $300 as one-time add-on charges. Businesses also have the option of adding these add-on charges as recurring instead of a one-time option. The order detail header provides a summary of one-time and recurring payment amounts for the product, as well as the one-time and recurring add-on charges for each order. James submits the order on behalf of Alex. Alex is now able to use the order section in the self-service portal to view the order that was placed and confirm the order details, pricing, and add-on charges. This concludes the demo of the new pricing capabilities in Q4 Tokyo Order Management.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, the next feature we talk about is in the product catalog. We already support simple products, bundled products, and configurable products. The product catalog. So with the Q4 store release, what we've introduced is support for configurable product with components. So again, imagine you have a industry like a manufacturing or telco or healthcare, where some like a complicated machine like an X-ray machine might have parts like the arm, the table, the X-ray part of it, the computer, onboard computer, etc. So, and based on the options you're picking, you might have different prices for the different components. So what we have introduced is these configurable products. You can set the pricing for each component, and when an agent adds this product to the cart, to the order on behalf of the customer and configures the options, the pricing is automatically calculated, and then when the order is submitted, the components create child order lines so that the fulfillment of this order can be tracked all the way through the component level back to the parent catalog item. So let's watch a quick demo on how this works.
Let's watch a demonstration of how the configurable product offering has been enhanced in the Q4 Tokyo Order Management Store release to support products with child components. James Davies, a Solana order agent, is helping Alex Starr, employee of StarTech Services, to place equipment order for a newly opened health clinic. James creates a new order and first adds a digital X-ray machine to the order as a line item, which also adds 6 child components that are required for the X-ray machine as child line items. James then configures the X-ray machine as Alex requests him to, accessing the product configurator. Here, you can see the child component options on the configuration screen and the total price of the selected components on the right panel. As the new configuration is saved, the child components are updated accordingly. James then confirms the order for the digital X-ray machine. Alex is now able to use the order section in the self-service portal to view the order that was placed and confirm the configuration options as well as the total price. The configurable product offering in ServiceNow Order Management simplifies management of products with multiple attributes, components, and price options for product admins. This concludes the demo for products with components and configuration rules. Let's watch.
Right. So before I hand it off to Harriet for Utah family, so the order management, again, like I said, it's an add-on to CSM, and we continue to deliver enhancements that and additional functionalities that improve your capabilities to place orders on customer behalf and track the order end-to-end from order capture to fulfillment. On to you, Harriet.
All right. Thank you, Krupa and Andre. Great review of what we put out in Q4 last year. Let's talk about the Utah release that just came out this month and the Q1 Utah release that came out in February. We have lots of features here on the left we're going through, and then I'll turn it back over to Krupa to wrap it up. Okay. So my name is Harriet Franklin, and I am going to be talking about all these great customer engagement features. So the first one may seem tiny, but tiny gives big results sometimes. And this is the new feature for knowledge management, human readable URLs. And what that is, it's the capability for administrators to configure what the URL looks like. I know if you remember now, when you get a knowledge URL, it's this very long, cryptic bunch of numbers and letters, hard to disseminate. So there are two reasons why we did this. Number one, from a customer perspective, it's easier for customers to understand and read and more likely to click on a URL that they understand. And customers always start their search. Typically when they have an issue, they may not be on the portal and they're on a search engine. The second reason is search engines can provide a better index and capability to be used when the URL makes sense to the search engine. Any previous URLs that you have had out there, once you configure the new one, anything that has been bookmarked is still going to work. So no worries about that. Your customers and you, whether you embed them in other knowledge articles, everything's going to work fine. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at a demonstration? Human readable URLs is a new feature in the Utah family release. It allows administrators to configure the URL structure to improve search engine ranking. Consumers, customers, and citizens are able to view the URLs that's easy to understand and result in a higher click-through rate. Here you can see a portal page with knowledge articles. And if I hover here, you can see what the before URL looks like. When the user clicks, there's an immediate redirect to the human readable URL. Search engines use the parameters in human readable URLs to rank results. And having a readable URL text helps rank higher. And search engines promote these results in the lists that are user-friendly and a higher likelihood that consumers will click. Previously bookmarked URLs are automatically redirected and continue to work with no updates. This also includes links that are anywhere, including inside knowledge articles. The key here is to accurately describe, using the keywords, information that's on the page. Here you can see the Smart Cool refrigerator, and the short description is here in the URL. Let's take a look at another knowledge article. In this case, it's in another language. If I click on this, I can see that it has been translated into another language previously, and that is also reflected in the URL. Let's take a look at the administrative side. When I go in this case, I want to look at my portal pages, and then I'm going to pull up the pages for the knowledge view. And here you can see the new field that we've added. And if you remember in the URL, we had a static variable for article and a dynamic variable for the short description. What I'm going to do here now is just remove that static variable and just have the short description, update this. When I click on the article, you can now see that, it just contains the short description. Okay, so that was a pretty popular one when we showed it to some other customers, and it's a very easy one to change. So why don't you guys test it out when you get Utah. Next, the second feature is real-time voice transcription with Amazon Connect. This is the ability for when customers are talking with agents, the voice to text transcription is shown in the chat channel. Out of the box, we're shipping this with Amazon Connect, but we're also shipping APIs. So whatever your contact center as a service or CCaaS vendor is for voice, you'll be able to leverage those APIs. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at a demonstration? Real-time voice transcription for Amazon Connect is a new feature in the Utah store release that converts conversations with customers and agents into textual representation. It leverages the Amazon voice transcribe capabilities and leverages APIs into ServiceNow. These APIs are also available for other contact center as a service vendors. Now let's take a look at how this works when a customer's package was not delivered.
Welcome to ServiceNow. In order to better serve you, we would like to record parts of this call. To give your consent, please press 1 followed by the pound sign. Press any other number followed by the pound sign to opt out. The call is from Nightlight Giraffe Instance. Hello, Amy. How may I assist you?
Speak to a live agent.
Please describe your issue.
Package not delivered.
Package not delivered. Is this correct?
Yes.
Please wait while I transfer you to an agent. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Hi, welcome to ServiceNow Support. This is Emily. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm also great. How may I help you today?
I received a text message from your company alerting me that a package has been delivered. Unfortunately, I can't find the package. I've looked everywhere around my property. Would you be able to help me track it down?
Yes, of course. Before we get started, I would like to confirm your contact information. Can you please provide your full name and address?
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it right there. It's a pretty lengthy conversation. But what's nice is that you saw in near real time the conversation flow in the chat channel where the speech has been converted to text. And what this is going to do is it's going to create an interaction. The actual conversation is stored on Amazon, and a URL link in that interaction is stored so it can be accessed at any time. This capability also exists if you want to dial out. So inbound and outbound calls as well will be part of this functionality. Okay, so the third feature we have also when we presented this to a few customers, very popular, is Omnichannel Callback. And Omnichannel Callback is the ability for customers while they're in self-service, whether it's on the portal, whether they're in Engagement Messenger, or whether they're actually in a chat or a virtual agent conversation. It's where they can request a callback from an agent. That callback can be as soon as possible, or you also have the capability to schedule that callback at a future date and time. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the demonstrations? I have a couple that I'm going to show you, not the full presentation, but again, these videos will be available to you on the community and also our YouTube channel. Omnichannel Callback is a new feature in the Utah Q1 23 store release, with the ability for customers to request, schedule, or cancel a voice or Zoom callback with agents. Here you can see the user, consumer Gilly Parker, and she clicks on the chat to start a conversation with the chat and virtual agent. From here, the capability exists to cancel, schedule, reschedule, or request a callback. Gilly requests a callback, and you have the capability to enter a phone number where you can be reached. Gilly has an issue with her product, and she's requesting a callback as soon as possible or right now. She could also say schedule later. Once that's set up, you get an estimated time approximately of when you're going to get that callback. Here we see on the left Gilly's cell phone, and on the right, the agent John Jason has just been notified that there's going to be a callback from Gilly Parker. Once he accepts, the phone system immediately places an outbound call. And as you can see on the left, Gilly's cell phone is ringing. Okay, so that call will be connected to the agent, John Jason, and then it will be an interaction just like any other normal interaction. That is showing you from chat and VA. I have another example of where you're in the customer portal. Omnichannel Callback is a new feature in the Utah store release with the ability for customers to request, reschedule, or cancel a voice or Zoom callback. Here we have a customer, Gilly Parker, who goes to the customer portal and wants to request a callback. She goes to a recent case for a problem with the refrigerator and then clicks on request callback. There are different types of callbacks: immediate, where you see Zoom is not available, or call me later, where for both voice and Zoom, Gilly has the capability to set up a time. Phone number is required, and sometimes that number can be different than the one in your contact record. Here we're asking to confirm a number where she can be reached. Next, we'll add a description. There's an issue with the Smart Cool refrigerator. And from here, clicking submit will set the appointment up. Now, there's a tab here where she can see any callback that she has that's upcoming or any ones that she's had in the past or canceled. Next, she realizes she needs to reschedule. Clicking on the reschedule allows Gilly to select a time for the next appointment or the capability to cancel that appointment altogether. With Omnichannel Callback, okay. And then the last use case, I'm not going to walk through it because, again, these videos are available to you, but from Engagement Messenger, which is embedded service on any third-party website, your organization's website, you're also able to request, schedule, and reschedule a callback. Okay, so big things still happening in the Utah Q1 release. We came out with Google Business Messages. And Google Business Messages allows your customers to reach you via any Google launch point, such as from a search, from any of the Google apps, from a website, from Google Maps. What they will see is a chat icon. And when they click on that chat icon, they'll be launched immediately into a conversation with ServiceNow. We have the capability for agents to reach back out to customers using their preferred channel, Google Business Messages. And we also have a very easy onboarding process when you're trying to set this up with Google. Let's take a look at a quick demonstration. Google Business Messages is a new feature in the Utah store release that allows customers to communicate with ServiceNow using any Google touchpoint. Here we see Google Maps has been launched, and from their mobile device, customers can click into messages and communicate with the brand. Here we're just going to show you a very light example of where we're leveraging Google Business Messages to connect with a financial services institution. Now, we don't have all the security checks. We're just showing you this as an example. And here we want to do a credit card replacement And then what happens is the rich messaging capabilities allow you to browse through several different types of credit cards and select the one that you want. And here we blurred out all the credit card information. With Google Business, okay, that was a very short demonstration, but what's key here is that your customers can now communicate with you on their channel of choice and take advantage of all the very rich and familiar UI that they enjoy in Google Business Messages. Next, let's talk about proactive triggers. Proactive triggers is a new feature that will pop up to customers and alert them of any message or action that the administrator has configured. So an administrator can configure rules or set up triggers to inform the customer from any portal page. So for example, let's just say a customer is on a knowledge article for a certain amount of time. We can start to pulse that icon down here at the bottom, and then a message will come up, and that message is clickable, and you can launch into a chat or virtual agent session. We recommend using this if you're trying to do quick alerts or messages to your customers. This, however, is very different than the way Engagement Messenger works, which is bringing service to non-ServiceNow or third-party web pages. And then the final feature I have here, again, everything is all about making sure that we improve search engine optimization. And as you know, sitemaps are can be generated for web crawlers to easily index and find your information for search engines. In this release, we're adding the capability to where you can automatically generate that sitemap. We've kind of left it up for you to do manually, and now we've added that capability for you to generate that automatically. And that's it for customer engagement. I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Krupa again. Krupa.
All right. Great. Thank you, Harriet. So let's move on to the next slide where we're talking about one of the two features in customer operations, which is install base management foundation. Now, this is a new feature in Utah that we released to support install bases for complex products with component hierarchies. I mean, think about it. When businesses are capturing install base information, especially for complex products, you need a lot of foundational information like, okay, what's this location where this is installed? When was it installed? How long is this going to be there? What is the status of this? Is it a new product? Is it a replacement product? Is it active? And then is there a parent-child hierarchy to this install base item? Think you have a car, and then it has an engine, and then it has a tires and onboard computer, things like that. So you need to maintain this holistic view of the install base item. And also the other challenge is, of course, when the agents can't easily access other relevant information for this install base. I can think what contracts are associated with this install base, etc. What happens is when these information is not available quickly, and you don't have a way to track the hierarchy, means you're either providing services that the customers are not entitled for, which means there is revenue leakage implications, or maybe customers are not receiving the right level of service they should, which leads, again, lower customer satisfaction. So what we have done with the install base foundation is we expanded the install base data model to include data like the parent install base, the root install base item for even more complex multi-level hierarchy products, the location, the install and uninstall date, is there a household associated with that? Is it active or not? And also all the related list for it, like cases associated with the entire install base hierarchy, any contracts, and then other thing is of course the related parties, because from an install base perspective, there may be other authorized users who need access to the install base details. So by doing this, what we're providing businesses is with this comprehensive view of the install base is it helps decrease the case resolution time because agents have access to all the information quickly, increasing their efficiency. And then by looking at the install base item holistically, you are providing customers with a high level of service that's driving higher customer satisfaction. So let's see how this is in a demo. Harriet, I don't think I'm hearing the audio.
Yeah, I clicked on it. Let me try it again. Let me.
To authorized parties for better service.
We'll start that again.
Install Base Management Foundation provides a 360 view of the install base item, including any parent-child relationships and a quick access to all related information. It also provides access to the install base details to authorized parties for better service. George Warren is a Buxayo employee who recently leased a corporate fleet car from Solana Corporation. He's calling about an issue with the car. James Davies, a Solana agent, accesses the Buxayo account. He selects the relevant install base item, the SUV leased by George, and accesses the install base record. He notes that George Warren is the owner, and this item is currently in use and is the original item. He also checks that the install base item, the car, is valid for 3 years. If needed, he can quickly access the lease contract to look up additional details. The SUV has multiple components, which are captured in the child install base items. James can now access all cases related to the entire install base hierarchy, and he sees the case submitted by George about the backup camera not working. George wants Jane Contact, his assistant, to track this issue. So James adds Jane Contact as an authorized representative for this install base item, which allows Jane to access the install base details from her customer service portal. Now, when Jane accesses her customer portal, she sees George's case for the backup camera in her list of cases. This concludes the demo.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Install.
All right, the next topic, service definitions. Again, this was a topic that generated a lot of interest from other customers when we presented in other scenarios. This is a new feature in CSM that establishes an end-to-end connection between products, services, and case types to simplify requesting services based on the customer context. Now, case types in CSM, they play a key role in driving workflows for both the front office and back office personas. So simplifying this process really drives agent efficiencies and operational efficiencies a lot. And why is this important? Because what the service definitions will ensure is both the customers and agents can easily find services that are relevant and available for the products they own. This means that fewer case errors, fewer case reroutings, and the burden of selecting the case types is reduced on the agents because the list is automatically filtered to show only the services that are available available for this customer's request. So how are we doing this is administrators can define this end-to-end relationship between, okay, these are my products and these are the services that I am offering to customers for this product, and this is these are the services they can request, and here is how they requested by creating an entry in the service catalog for that item. So when an agent is creating a new case, they can just check mark to say, okay, this is for a specific product, and obviously based on the customer contact, the list is already filtered to show the products that the customer owns, and when the agent selects the product the customer is talking about, it will be further filtered to show the applicable case types based on this product and the service. I think it will be much better as a demo to show that how powerful this is. So let's run the demo.
Establishes an end-to-end connection between product. Service definition establishes an end-to-end connection between products, services, and case types so that agents and customers can quickly access relevant case types based on the customer context or products owned by the customer. Solana Corporation learns that the image class printer model is having an ink leakage issue. James Davies, responsible for printer servicing, creates a new service definition, report a printer leakage. He associates the relevant product under the product service relationship and associates a service catalog item, report an ink leakage issue. George Warren, a Buxio employee, wants to report a problem with his new printer. When he views his install base items in the customer portal, he sees the relevant services for each item. For the server, he only sees the report a product complaint, but for the printer, he sees an additional service, report an ink leakage issue. He can now submit his service request, choosing from the set of services relevant in the context of the product owned. George also wants a new printer ink subscription account, and he initiates a chat with Jason James, Solana customer agent. When Jason initiates the create case request from the interaction, if he chooses to submit a product-specific issue, he would see the relevant services based on products owned by the contact, George Warren. However, since the account creation request is not a product-specific one, Jason unchecks the "This is for a specific product" checkbox, and he is presented with the other services available for George: a general product inquiry or create a new subscription account. Jason selects the new account request, and system initiates the onboarding case type to guide Jason in creating a new subscription account for George. Service definitions improve agent efficiency and customer satisfaction by showing only valid support requests based on the context.
All right. Thank you, Harriet. And I think that's the last feature. We have a ton of features we talked through, but we're not done yet. We're here today. What's new in Utah for CSM? We do have a follow-up session. What's new in Utah for FSM? That's coming up tomorrow. So if you haven't registered yet, go for that. And then we do have two more specific CSM and FSM topics. The first one being April 19th, Agent Productivity with the CSM Configurable Workspace by our own Andre Ramsarran. So please do register. And if we go to the next slide. We do have other webinars from this series that you can catch the replays of that in the community or on YouTube. So the most recent one we did was getting started with service organizations in CSM. This lets you model your stores, your branches, any of your operational locations, and the staff there to serve customers or request store support for the staff.
Thank you, everyone. We finished right on time, and we will see you on the next session with Andre.